Hey, la 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 la. Bees that girl. La 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 la. What's my name, yo? Who's that girl? Hey, be that girl. Hey, what's my name, yo? What's up, fam? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Feed King Show. It goes down every Friday and now Mondays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 12 noon, God willing. Let me tell you, I didn't know. I did not know for sure if the Feed King Show was going to go down because I've been attempting to cancel the show since I woke up this morning. Why? Why? Because my to-do list is so long. And then I realized, oh my goodness, you are getting everything that you asked for. You know, you asked for this. Be careful of what you ask for. I asked for purpose. I asked for mission. I asked God to help me get even more clear with my vision and then to give me the energy that I need to fulfill all of the things that I want to be, do, and have. So here we are, the Feed King Show, Monday. Yay! I heard you too. I heard you too. I'm getting hearts on the gram. Woo! So let's get into this thing. The Feed King Show is all about who are you, right? What do you do? What don't we do? What's your why? And how in the world are you keeping this thing all together? How in the world are you keeping this thing all together? So I'll start with myself. I am a woman. I'm a sister. I'm a pet parent. I'm an auntie to the most yummy, delicious, talented, beautiful, kind, and sweet niece. Her name is Chandler Marie. I am a cousin. I'm actually a favorite cousin to a cousin. I won't name her because I don't want to make the other cousins feel bad. I'm a niece. I'm a girlfriend. I'm a homegirl. I'm a BFF. I'm a colleague. I'm a co-worker. I'm a partner. What? Huh? What's my name? Hey, what's my name, yo? Who's that girl? Listen, if you don't edify yourself, don't expect other people to edify you. I'm my own hype girl. I'm my own hype girl. I'm my own hype girl in this world. What do? I help women over the age of 40 specifically, yet not exclusively, get unstuck from where they are to where it is they want to be. And I have written a book about it, my third book, Her Story Unstuck. Pre-order. It is on pre-order right now. Grab the book. It's $1.99. And when you do, two things are going to happen. You're going to help me reach more women over the age of 40 in pursuit of helping them get unstuck so that they can get from where they are to where it is they want and need to be so that they can be of service. And you'll be helping me to become a best-selling Amazon author, best-selling author, best-selling author. Say it with me, best-selling. Okay, it's enough of that. Why? Because I love myself so much today that it only makes sense to love women exactly where they are and to help them. How am I keeping this all together? Well, it all depends on who you ask. So I want to delve deeper into the how, because I know this to be factual, not only in my own life, but in the life of other people. And I've also, this has been confirmed. It's a scripture. It's been confirmed in the Bible. I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't really even know what that means, a Bible thumper. Like, are there people out there that are like thumping the Bible? But I know this to be true from other spiritual leaders, people that I value, thought leaders and spiritual leaders, which is the how is not our responsibility. And I get to constantly remind myself of that. So what I believe that I do is I help God meet me where I am by showing up, by doing the work, by saying in action, by continuing to believe. The how for me, I know is God's responsibility. So how I'm choosing to take care of myself is by meditating and by connecting on a deeper level with God through prayer. And I am in a perpetual state of prayer all day long. Y'all, it's not just something that I do in the morning. It is something that I do all day long during the waking hours. Running. That is how I take care of myself. That is how I keep my mind as steady and as positive and as optimistic and as forward moving as possible. Reading. I never thought I would be the type of person who would read audiobooks, who would listen to audiobooks. And I tell you, I don't know if it's an age thing, but the older I get, the more crave, I crave knowledge, I crave information, I crave connection. I'm a very extrovert introvert. Like I love people, I love being around people, and then I love to not. Who can relate to that? Like I love people, I love being around them, I love giving and receiving, I love to pour into, I love being poured into, and then I love to be alone at home, quiet. It's so quiet right now in Be More Loving Baltimore. It's so quiet. And so the how. Good morning, Talia. Good morning, Mrs. Susan. What's up? My sweet, beautiful, say cool. By the way, y'all, what's up, Tashanta Hogan? Welcome to the Fake King Show. Tashanta Hogan T. I want to have you on the show. Just say yes. Just say yes. The show goes down. It's 8:30 a.m. LA time. Just say yes to Shanta Hogan, because I want the world to know more about sensational soaps and your story. Her story is so powerful. Sensational soaps. All right. This conversation ended. I'm pumped. This conversation ended with how. So I don't want to take for granted that you know, because as an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, contract worker, gig worker, independent, small business owner, this will really resonate with you. Because as an entrepreneur, we wear many hats, right? As a matter of fact, we're wearing all of the hats. It's hat game. Thank you so much, Miss Beauty Jador, for lacing your girl, your one and only big sister, with this beautiful hat. I have another one that I'm going to rock, and I have a coat to match it, and it's fall. What? We're going to be out here in these streets. We're going to be out here in these East Coast streets, just popping color, just doing all the most. And then with my Her Glow candy earrings, y'all, don't get me started. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. Hey, I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. All righty. So I wear a lot of hats. And then I thought this morning, I'm so grateful that I own my own time. I own my schedule. I own my life. Now, while I'm not exactly where I want to be, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I take full responsibility and accountability for getting myself exactly where I am. Oh, praise God. God is good all the time. God is good. I pick up this young man, Asian. He gets in the car, and I tell you something. This is what I love about Uber. By the way, I'm also an Uber driver. I drive Uber before my massage clients, after a massage client. I drive Uber after I leave the grocery store en route to another appointment or home. I drive Uber whenever the freak I want to, because I get to. And so this morning I said, okay, before I do my workout, before I have my first client, before I do the Fee King show, I'm going to do a couple Ubers. I picked this Asian guy up. What I love about Uber is I never know who I'm going to get in the car, if they're going to be communicative, if they're going to smell good, smell bad, if they're going to have an attitude, if they're going to just bring light, love, and joy into the car. But whatever they bring, I'm always consistently bringing Fee King. And I don't let anything or anyone disrupt my energy in the car. So he gets in the car and he has a cup of coffee. And I had just gotten my coffee. Shout out to Sophomore Coffee here in Be More Loving Baltimore. Sophomore Coffee on Maryland Avenue, Black owned. What's up, Chris? Chris, I want you on the Fee King show. So I have my coffee and I'm excited because I have my coffee and he's got his coffee. I asked him, where'd you get your coffee from? And that's how the conversation started. He got his coffee from Charm City Coffee, which I've been there before the pandemic. I said, oh, I'm so excited, that they're back open. And so we're talking about all the things. He said, I'm really not a coffee person. I just do it for the energy. He tells me he's got a red eye. And I'm like, a red eye? I haven't had a red eye since I lived in LA. And I said, you know what? You've inspired me to get a red eye with just a little almond milk and no sugar. I was like, no sugar? You have no sugar in there? I was like, you're my kind of guy. So then we start talking about food. He tells me that he grew up. Y'all ready for this? I don't know if y'all ready for this. Let me know if you're ready for this, because you got to be ready for this. If you're not ready for this, you're not going to be ready for this. Let me know if you're ready for this. He tells me that he grew up with no sugar. I was like, that's child abuse, child. I said, like, no sugar? He said, no. He said, you know, my mom didn't introduce us to sweets. I said, did you go to birthday parties? He said, yeah, and I would indulge. He said, but you know, I have the type of personality, like for me, food, he said, there's one thing, this is what he said, there's one thing to love to eat, and there's another thing to eat to live. I said, Lord have mercy, Jesus. I said, you better get out of here. I said, you better get out of my car right now. I said, say that again. Say that. Say that for the folks in the back seat. He said, okay. And I said, I'm just kidding. He said, but there's a pro and a con to it. He said, the pro is I'm pretty healthy. And because of the way I eat, I don't have an issue with my weight. My weight is managed because of, I said, Lord, why do I not have cameras up in the car? I said, because not only do I say this a lot, I need to hear it. I need to remind myself because I believe that as well. However, I like food. I'm a foodie. And I told him, I said, there was a time when I used to dream. I used to dream about steaks and corn on the cob and mac and cheese. And I would schedule my day around food and restaurants and dinner dates and lunch dates and all the things. And so I'm captivated by this conversation. He has my full undivided attention. I said, so what's the con? Like, what's the downside? He said, well, like food, I don't really have like a relationship with food. I said, why are you speaking my language? He's speaking my nutrition language. He said, so sometimes, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I don't really have a taste for food. And so like food is no big deal to me. And I'm a cook. I said, you're a cook? I am so grateful for the 9 minutes that we spent. No, it was 12 minutes, the 12 minutes that this young man spent in my car. So let me give y'all a little backstory. Child abuse, no sugar. I was like, no sugar. So his parents are immigrants. He's Korean. He's 25. These are his words. This is what he's telling me. So we're talking about all the things, food, culture. He says to me, he says, you know, he actually educated me on something I never heard of. And let me know if you've heard of this expression, if you will. The expression is a model minority. He used that several times. He referenced being a model minority. So I'm just listening because I'm thinking, I don't know what you're talking about, Willis. I don't know what that means. And so he was telling me that we're talking about food and how food kind of dictates our movements, how it dictates our mood. And we're talking about grocery shopping and how grocery shopping is easy for him. I share with him that I went to the grocery store last night. I went to Safeway. I said, you know, I was telling my boyfriend about this. I said, it was the first time that I was aware that people seem to be distressed over the notion of groceries, whether they were trying to figure out in their mind, they were calculating, okay, can I afford this? Should I put this back? Should I go for this option versus this option? Maybe instead of Heinz, you know, I'll go for an off brand or the grocery store brand, all the things I said, and then I whispered, like somebody was in the car with us. I said, I'll be honest. I said, it was the first time for me that white people looked distressed. I said, even the people who work there, I said, like, there was a time when I would go grocery shopping. Let me know if you can relate to this. There was a time I could go grocery shopping, or I would be in the grocery store and someone would say, oh, excuse me, pardon me, I'm behind you. Hi, good morning. Those days are lost. And I grocery shop not often because grocery shopping has changed for me also. I'm a lot more mindful of food stretching. I'm a lot more mindful of getting staples so that I can stretch the food, so that I can cook and it's easy and quick and it's within my budget. So, but people are not as nice and kind and loving and warm and cozy as they were in the past. And it's because food has gotten so much more expensive. It's so much more expensive. What I think though is there's an opportunity for us to become more mindful of how we shop, where we shop, what we shop for, and how we're determined to not waste food. So he agreed. He said, yes. He said, people are, he said, yeah, I think they are kind of in their mind about the calculations. He said, culturally, people think because I'm Asian, that I fall within the guideline of being a minority, a model minority. It's like, I'm gonna just listen because I don't know what he's talking about. He goes on to say that my peers, the Asian community, I asked him specifically, where he's from. He mentioned Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. He said, my peers shun me. He said, so growing up in Maryland, not until I moved to Baltimore. He's from a place that I just learned about, Mount Airy. I was like, I got a ride request to take someone to Mount Airy. And I was like, first of all, wherever that is, it's too far, I'm not going. He was telling me that Mount Airy has beautiful rolling hills, mountains. He grew up in the farm community. His parents now live in Ellicott City. And his peers shun him. I said, why? He said, because I'm not a smart Asian. I said, boy, stop it. He said, I play sports. And what else did he say? He said, I didn't get good grades. He said, so according to them, the Asian community, I'm not smart. I play sports and I did not get good grades. He said, and then white people don't know how to relate to me because I'm not their model minority. And I said to myself, here's the thing. This is what I got from this experience with this young man. And I shared this with him. I said, oftentimes, I think Black people, and I'm gonna speak for myself, as a Black person, as a Black American person, there was a time when I thought Asian people had it good, if you will, had no stress, no pressure, no worries. And he said, oh my gosh, he said, we're the most stressed culture. He said, because we want to assimilate to white people, because it's been ingrained in us that white is right and whatever white people do is what we need to do to become successful. He said, so we'll assimilate to the notion that we're smart, that we're good in math. He said all the things he said, and it's just not true. And so when I got home, I said, oh my goodness, I want to talk about this on the Fee King show, but I don't know what he's talking about as it pertains to model minority. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Oh, I think in order for us to get into this, we got to get into switch, hacking, model minority. According to an article that I found on NPR, this myth about Asian Americans and their perceived collective success has been used as a racial wedge to minimize the role racism plays in the struggles of other minority groups such as Black Americans. Smart, hardworking, nice, those were among the adjectives that respondents offered up in a recent poll when asked to describe Asian Americans. I don't know, but this sounds pretty on point to me. This sounds pretty accurate to me. And one of the things that I hope to dispel, because I've had these conversations, not so much on my show, but in person with people, is these stereotypes. When this young man got out of the car, I gave him my card. I said, I'm going to give this to you and hopefully you're interested. I said, because what you're sharing with me needs a bigger audience. I said, this feels like a book. I said, because you need to break down these stereotypes and you need to educate the communities. I said, because oftentimes we feel like we're in this alone. Black people feel like this is the Black struggle and we're struggling. He also mentioned that knowing that white people are struggling gives him some comfort, not because he wants anyone to struggle, but because he realizes it's not just me. He's 25. When he was 18, he said, I was struggling financially. He said, and I was effing off my money. He said, but now I'm not doing those things. Like I'm working, I'm paying all of my bills. And I'm now at that point in my life where I'm responsible for paying my bills. I said, how does that feel? He said, I'm like real life adulting. He said, and I realized it's not just me. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not pissing off my money. He said, there's a real life element of struggle or hardship or challenge where we're all trying to figure out how to make more money, be more smart with money, invest our money. These are my words. Manage our money, stretch our money, just do better with our money, make more money, stretch it, manage it, all those things, he said. And I realized it's not just me, that whatever level you are at in your financial life, we're all having some sort of, it's a juggling act. Let me know if you would agree. It's a juggling act. Wherever you are in your financial life, whether you are just starting out in life, whether you are a millennial, whether you're a Gen Z, whether you are a Gen Xer, you're in midlife, whether you're a baby boomer, whether you're in your retirement, we're all in this space. You know what? Somebody's at the door. And let me tell you something. My doorbell is crazy. It's an alarm. It sounds like a fire alarm. Child, whoever it is, they must not know. You do not ring my doorbell. I'm sorry. That kind of alerted me. I was like, oh, what's going on? Because it sounds like, a fire alarm, because it is. Baltimore. Love Baltimore. Anywho, so when he gets out of the car, I give him my card and I said, look, I would really love to bring you on the Fee King Show. And I said, the Fee King Show is all about who are you? What do you do? What's your why? How in the world are you keeping it all together? He said, the how. He said, oh man, I love that. He said, because managing this stuff, all the stuff, the bills, the work, everything, he said, that is the key, is the how. And I said, he said, in the Asian culture, in the Asian culture and community, one of the things that he really appreciates, he said, and I believe it, is that we believe that we have the power to determine our life's condition. I was like, who are you? Like, you're speaking my language. He said, and I really appreciate that. He said, because I realize that we have the power. And I believe that as well. I also believe that God works on the behalf of those who are open to doing the work, to staying in action, because you can sit at home all day or sit at work all day and pray and ask God for things, but God needs you to move forward in action, right? God needs you to listen and then implement. God needs you to listen and then implement. This conversation with this young man, Andrew is his name, was so beautiful. And I thought, this is how I want to set the tone for my days. I want to be able to receive that. So hopefully Andrew will call. And he said to me, he said, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to call. He said, but I'm really interested. And I said, Andrew, I think you have a book in you. I think you have a book in you. Andrew is a cook. He makes, wherever he works, it's a restaurant. And I believe it's a restaurant. It's a new restaurant, I believe, in Canton, based on where I dropped him off. And I've been wanting to check out this restaurant anyway. So I have a feeling if Andrew doesn't call me, I'm going to Andrew, because I'm going to go to this restaurant and I'm going to ask for Andrew. Yes. All right. And the other thing I realized, I was sharing with Andrew, I said, if I could toot my own horn, I said, I feel like I'm well adjusted, right? Because I can relate to every culture because I've been exposed. And when you haven't been exposed, then you tend to subscribe to these stereotypes. You tend to believe the things, because I know there was a time when I lived in Houston and LA, and I would patronize an Asian owned business, whether it was a beauty salon or a Chinese restaurant. And there always seemed to be a disconnect. There was a disconnect until there wasn't. And it was the late 90s. I remember being in LA, going into a beauty salon, sent a request to be live. Naomi, you want to come on? Okay. So Naomi, I would love to have you come on. Let's do it. Let me just finish this thought. And somebody's calling. They are doing the most. The Fee King Show, they are doing the most. I'm sorry, Naomi. So Naomi, we have 6 minutes. Let me just wrap up this. Someone wants to come on live. Let's do it. Let me just wrap up this thought. When I lived in LA, towards the end, I remember going into a beauty salon to buy some hair. So y'all know it was a while ago if I was buying hair. And it was this Asian woman who worked in there. And y'all, let me tell you, she was so cool. And we were vibing. She was telling me about hair and that she does hair and she does Black women's hair. And it was just such a beautiful experience, which opened me up to seeing a different side. Like she didn't follow me around like I was about to steal something. And so when I moved to Orlando, I didn't experience many Asian people in Orlando. Baltimore has a large Asian community. Parts of Virginia, large Asian community. And so the laundromat that I go to, the owner is Asian. Her name is Winnie. I've been trying to get Winnie on this show for a year. Winnie is so dope. I'm not for sure where she's from, but when I go in there, the laundromat, it's Falls Road Laundromat on Falls Road in Hampton. Winnie owns a laundromat. They're about to open up their restaurant again. They own rental property. Winnie is an Uber driver. Every time I go in there, Winnie is looking exhausted because she's working so hard. She's working so hard for her American dream. When I go in there, sometimes on the big screen, if she has these workout videos on. Winnie is in the back of the laundromat cooking like her lunch. She takes naps back there, like she is doing it. And so sometimes we'll go in there and when I see the workout videos, I'll work out with her and she loves it. We have such a great time. Winnie treats everyone the same with a welcoming hello. She's very kind and genuine. And I love that about her. And I hope that after watching today's show, you'll just be more aware of other cultures. And all right, so Naomi, let's bring you on, girl. I want to see what you got to say. I want to see what you got to say. And so Naomi, we have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Dougie, fresh you on. On. So Naomi, I accept it. All right, we're bringing her on. Hi, Naomi. Hey, welcome to the P. King Show. How are you? I'm awesome. This is the first time I've invited or accepted a request from someone I didn't know onto the show. So let's do this. Welcome. What you got to say?
My first time watching a thing from Annie McKnight.
That's my girl. I used to train Annie McKnight. I love funny. Oh, me and Annie got stories. Annie's coming on the show. I cannot wait. I love me some Annie McKnight. Oh, I'll tell her I said thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much. Where are you coming in live from? Oh, I love Santa Clarita. Oh my goodness. I did a short film near Santa Clarita. I want to say the city is Santa Paula. Have you heard? I love that area because it's so different from LA. It's less congested. And I've been to Santa Clarita for something else, and some other friends lived up there. All right, are you from California? All right, Detroit in the house. I got cousins from Detroit.
Yes, and so I moved in 1971. So you might as well call me a California now.
Yeah, you're native. You're native. Well, ode to California. I had a good time in Cali. I never thought, kind of like Baltimore, I would ever live in Baltimore. I never saw myself living in California. But I'm glad that I had almost 24 years there. I had a good time. Yeah. So please keep tuning in. Is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners before we log off? I'm going to repeat that because we are also live on Facebook. So Naomi says, enjoy life. And because we're here for a short time, I believe. Am I paraphrasing correctly? While we're
and
here,
happy.
while we're here, we might as well enjoy it and happiness. And I agree. I agree. I want to leave you all with this because I know, again, whatever level and stage of life you're in, most of us are wanting to achieve the same things or similar, which is we want our freedom and liberties. We want shelter, food, clothing, and whatever wealth looks like to you, some level of success. For many people, that means monetary, right? I get it. Money is very important. What's more important, though, is your health and happiness. Your health and happiness, because without your health, you cannot enjoy the money. Without happiness, you cannot appreciate money and what money does for you, which is just a tool. It's just a tool. I was watching the Whitney Houston and Bobby Christina story. It's it's a segment, it's a like a documentary, if you will, that they are doing on Netflix. And I learned a lot of things that I had never known before. And one of the things that I learned was that when Whitney passed, her daughter inherited $1 billion. So many times we think that money makes us happy, right? If I have money, I got everything. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be set. I'm gonna be cute. I'm gonna be doing ama. No, this young, beautiful girl had $1 billion that was inherited, that was left to her. And shortly thereafter, she transitioned. And so money does not make us happy. Gary Vee talks about this a lot in his book that I'm listening to for the 6th time in my car, Crushing It, Crush It, Crush It, Crush It. Get the audio. It is an amazing book. And he says, if you wake up in the morning and you are happy to go to work doing the thing that makes you just explode inside, he said, that is where your real wealth is. He says, because he's very wealthy, he says, I'm not happy because I'm wealthy. I am wealthy because I am happy. I am wealthy because I am happy. I hope that resonates with someone. I hope you receive that. And if you don't get it today, maybe you'll come back to it. Miss Naomi, thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Every day is. Thank you so much. You too. All right, y'all. Be King is out. Have an amazing, yummy, delicious, positive, productive, possible day, week, weekend, month, not just for the rest of 2023, but for the entirety of your life condition. I'm out. Deuces.